Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today, I am going to be doing my monthly palette ranking. It's really not that exciting. Although I do love filming this video every month, it is somewhat torturous having to pick between all these amazing eyeshadow palettes. It is getting harder and harder every time. I think it's just because I'm getting so good at buying really good makeup. Like, I'm not really taking a lot of chances when I buy eyeshadow palettes nowadays. I'm pretty much buying from brands that I know have good quality and I already enjoy the color story and all of that. So these palettes are good. So basically what I do is I take the last group of palettes that I've been testing for the past month or so, and I rank them according to my preference in terms of quality, in terms of color story, in terms of excitement level, in terms of how often I want to reach for the palette and things like that. So these are all just my opinions. And if you don't agree with me, that is totally okay. We just maybe have different preferences. I am going to link all of these palettes down below in the description box if they are available. Some of them aren't, as well as everything that is on my face today. And if you enjoyed this video while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would definitely suggest subscribing, especially if you love eyeshadow content. Okay, so I have 9 palettes to rank, but only 8 places. And I will tell you why. I'm grouping a couple of palettes together. So, coming in at number 8, I have the Thirst Quad from the Unearthly Cosmetics Mystery Box. This quad is not available for purchase on its own. It did come in a mystery box that had 3 quads. This is the quad that I had the hardest time working with, to be honest with you. These reds were very, very difficult for me to blend. I actually did my makeup and I had to take my makeup off and start all over again because I did not like how it came out the first time, which I rarely do. I usually try to make it work.
Make it work.
I really had a really hard time using the reds. So I honestly don't see myself reaching for this palette except for this shimmer and the black. The black is very good. The shimmer is beautiful. It's more of a toppery shade. Actually, all of the shimmers and all the quads from this mystery box were more toppery shades. I just personally did not have an easy time using this quad. So it's coming in at last place. Coming in at number 7 are the other 2 quads. I'm gonna put them together just because I feel pretty much the same about them. I think the quality of these quads was nice. I like the color stories of these. I think that they're really condensed in a way that you're getting a monochromatic look, but you're getting 3 mattes and 1 shimmer, and all 3 mattes have different depth as well as different undertone, which I think is really fun. Like the purple one, you have a super cool tone, almost blurple. Then you have a periwinkle, and then you have more of a neutral purple. I think it's really smart that they did that. And then this, again, this shimmer is more of a sparkly topper. It's so beautiful. And then this green one, it's kind of the same thing. You've got 3 different tones of green, different depths, light, medium, deep, and then a beautiful toppery shade. I didn't have a problem with the quality of these. You know, they're not like my favorite color stories ever. They're very bright, which is not like my ultimate favorite thing. I am more of like a neutral person if I am going to really categorize myself, which I shouldn't, right? Because I do a lot of colorful looks as well. But I don't feel like I'm super drawn to the color story of these, although I thought they were good and good quality. I think definitely better than the red and black quad. Okay, from here on out, everything else was really good. Really good. I really loved everything, and putting them in order was pretty difficult, to be honest with you. So here we go. Coming in at number 6, I have the Natasha Denona Mini Gold. So I am on a mission to collect all of the Natasha Denona minis, if you didn't know. I saw that this one went on sale for 50% off on Sephora, and it went so quick, I missed it. And then like a week later, it came back in stock and I grabbed it. So I bought this for half price, which I think is pretty darn good. I like this palette. It's not my favorite mini palette, and I can't even really explain why. That's kind of a weird thing about it. I thought it was nice. I liked the looks that I got out of it, but it wasn't my favorite palette of the ones that I've tried this month. This gold shade I felt was kind of chunky, a little bit more crumbly on the lid. So I don't really love that formula, but everything else was pretty nice. I can't really complain. I would have liked if there was a very light shimmer for like an inner corner highlight or for the lid, because I do prefer light to mid-tone shimmers, and these two are definitely deep, and this one is more of a mid-tone. So yeah, it's okay. I like it a lot, actually. I think it's absolutely beautiful, but it's just not my favorite thing that I've tried this month. Wait a second, I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Guys, I got the counting off because there was a palette that was hidden. So this is number 9. This is number 8. This is number 7. And the next one is number 6. Coming in at number 6, I have the Nomad Cosmetics Santa's Village palette. I actually really like this palette. I know it got kind of mixed reviews, and I can understand why. It is a very different formula than what I'm used to from Nomad. The shimmers, most of all, they are extremely hard pressed. They are much more of a toppery, like very much a toppery, shimmery, not opaque, not a metallic, just a beautiful, shifty, sheeny. Now, I always, 9 times out of 10, I shouldn't say always, but most of the time I use a finger to apply my shimmers. So I felt like it was easy to do with these. I think with the brush, it might be a little more difficult, but I actually really love the effect that these shimmers gave. I don't feel like I have many, if any, palettes in my collection that give that same type of look, that it's just, when the light hits it just right in low light, it gives a shift, a sparkle that's understated, that's really pretty. It's not like wham bam in your face like a lot of metallics we see, especially with indie brands. Even Nomad shimmers are, or they can be, really impactful. These are very different. So if you know that going in, I think that's smart, like when you purchase it. I don't even think it's available anymore anyway, but I did see a lot of reviews of this palette before I bought it, so I knew that going in. I think the only reason I'm putting this lower is actually the mattes. They're not bad quality by any means. I actually think this red was really, really easy to work with. This gray was fine. I'm not a huge gray matte shadow person. This white is definitely not super pigmented white, so it's nice just to soften edges, but it's not super pigmented, and the green is fine. I just kind of don't really find myself pairing these mattes together. I have a hard time pairing them together. This palette is good for me, A, as a companion palette with other palettes, or B, if I want to just pop one matte through my crease on my lid and then pop one of these shimmers on the lid, and I'm good to go. I feel like that's how I can see myself using this. So it's not like the most versatile palette. I mean, it's a 9-pan palette, but I actually do really, really like this palette a lot. By the way, I did buy all of these palettes myself. I didn't get sent any in PR. Okay, coming in at number 5. I have the ColourPop C3PO palette. So I love the theming. I really love all of the Star Wars palettes that I've tried personally. I think they do a really good job with the packaging. I think they do a good job with pairing the color stories to the theme. I think they really do, because this is C3PO to me. I really feel like, I mean, look at him and then look at the color story, right? It matches. I think the quality of these shadows is absolutely beautiful, really nice. Now, it's a neutral yellow gold palette. Are you gonna get versatility out of this? Not really. It's pretty one-noted. I created quite a few looks with this palette, and I feel like the looks looked very similar. A slight difference in terms of the shimmers have different undertones, but I still feel like I enjoyed all the looks that I created, and I think this would be really fun for a person who strictly wears neutrals and they want to kind of just dabble in leaning towards a colorful look with the yellow tone. I love the shimmers, and I love that they've put this Super Shock up here. It is such a beautiful white gold. It's perfect in the inner corner. I love that they have a deep dark brown matte for deepening out the outer corner, because you can create very light, bright looks with this palette, but you can also deepen it up with this dark brown. I think if this dark brown was gone, I don't think I would have bought the palette. So I actually really like this palette a lot. It's pretty one-noted, but I think the looks that I've gotten are very pretty. All right, coming in at number 4, I have the Merry Christmas palette from Oden's Eye. So I did buy both the Merry Christmas and the Christmas Eve palette, and spoiler alert, the Christmas Eve palette is coming higher in the countdown than the Merry Christmas palette, which to me is a surprise because when I first saw these being launched and being sneak peeked, this was the one I definitely wanted to buy. I wasn't sure I wanted to buy the other one. This one was calling my name. I love this palette. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, just because it's at number 4 doesn't mean that I don't think it's gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. They are so creative. The way that they create their palettes, I don't know how they do it. And the quality of this is 20,000 out of 10. So good. The mattes, the metallics, everything about this palette is so gorgeous in terms of quality. The only reason I think that this is going a little bit lower in the countdown, apart from the other things, is I absolutely love these 2 bottom rows. These 2 bottom rows are my dream come true. I absolutely love warm tones, and these are just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I loved the look that I created. I did make a video creating a look with this. I can link it down below. I can link any corresponding videos where I'm using these palettes down below. And I loved the look that I created with this palette. It was just a warm tone look. It's more this row up here and more these like green blues. They're not my most favorite, although I am kind of wearing one on my eyelid today, but they're not my most favorite, and I'm coming to realize this. They're not my most favorite colors to wear on me, and especially in matte shadows. Like this color, this like bluish green, teal, aqua color, I really don't like wearing those colors. I don't know why, I just feel like they don't suit me. I feel like my eye looks dirty, like I've been punched or something like that. And these kind of this neon green was pretty, but I don't know. These tones of green just don't call to me as much. I love this grungy matcha cookies green, but some of the other greens just didn't call to me as much. But I still love the looks that I created with this palette. I still think they're absolutely beautiful, and the quality is so incredibly good. I know you can't get it anymore, so I'm going to shut up about it, but maybe they'll bring it back. We can only hope. Coming in at number 3, I have the Natasha Denona Mini Nude. I know it's boring. Okay, this is boring, but it is so beautiful. This may be, well, I'm not going to speak too soon. I was going to say it may be my favorite mini from Natasha Denona, but I'm not sure. I can't commit to that statement. Again, am I getting versatile looks out of this? No, but it is a 5-pan palette, so you can only expect so much. I love the assortment of colors. I think this is a perfect curation of colors. A light/mid-tone matte, a darker matte, and 3 varying depths of shimmer. And this shimmer for the inner corner is so gorgeous. All 3 shimmers are absolutely beautiful. They're smooth yet sparkly. They don't fall out all over the face. The mattes are the usual incredible Natasha Denona quality. This palette is absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad that I bought it. I can absolutely see myself grabbing this to travel with. If you have someone in your life that's not super into makeup, I feel like this is a palette that they would use every single day. Like before I got into makeup, this would have been the palette I bought and used for years until I panned every single shadow. Honestly, it is that good. It is so incredible. I absolutely love it. I highly recommend it. I just felt really pretty when I was wearing this palette, you know? Sorry if I'm flashing you at all during this video. These straps need to be adjusted. Hold, please. Coming in at number 2, it is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. It is the Fall Magic palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is worth the hype. It has gone in and out of stock so many times. So it was in stock at a time that I was placing an order, and I picked it up, and I am so glad I did. This palette to me is one of my most perfect palettes in my collection. If I was going to create a palette, I would draw from this for inspiration. The mattes I think are so beautifully colorful yet muted. You've got browns, you've got purples and pinks, you've got orange, you've got a green, and really the thing that kicks this up a notch are the shimmers. They are insane. A couple of them are actually duochromes. The one I'm wearing on my eyes today is Leaves. It's a duochrome of green to blue to even maybe purple. Absolutely beautiful. Some of them are wet to the touch, almost putty-like. So I have had to kind of finesse it and be careful with putting too much glitter primer underneath. I don't want to put too much of a tacky base underneath because these are so creamy that I feel like they might crease. But I have created such beautiful looks. I fully enjoyed my time with this palette, and I absolutely love it. I think it's worth the hype. I'm so glad I picked it up. Quality, color story, packaging, everything great. And then coming in at number 1, can I get a drum roll, please? The Christmas Eve palette from Oden's Eye. I'm shocked. I'm shocked because I didn't think I was going to love this palette as much as I do. And in fact, I wasn't even going to pick it up because I thought it was too blue. Well, the joke's on me because this palette is so stunning. I feel like it is such a work of art.
This is a work of art.
Even just sitting here looking at it is satisfying. And again, I said that it was a blue palette, but it is so much more than a blue palette. Yes, you can create blue looks, but I also created a very much a neutral look on my Instagram. You can also create purple looks. You can keep it just very cool tone neutral. There is so much going on in this palette, and I found myself wanting to reach-her this over and over again. And I think what set me over the edge and really made this my number 1 palette is the shade Gorgeous. Down here, the multi-chrome. I think it's one of my most favorite eyeshadows in my collection. It shifts from like blue to purple, the pink to green. You're not even ever gonna be able to see it because I'm not great at swatching it. It is absolutely gorgeous, like the name would suggest. Stunning, stunning shade. I created a look with that shadow yesterday. I'm obsessed with the look I created, mostly because of that shadow, but I took a really big fluffy brush and I went into the shade Nowhere, which is like a grayish, cool toned transition. And I usually have really bad problems with grays on my eyes. They don't seem to blend very well. I took a literal big, giant, fluffy brush and accidentally I kind of went in too deep and I went to blend it and somehow, I don't know how, it like blended deeper in my crease and it faded out as it went up. Like it created depth on its own. I don't know how it did it, but the mattes are just so easy to use. Kind of a fear that I have with blues is that I find that they're hard to blend out, but these are just perfect. I'm so sorry you can't get it anymore, and I'm talking on and on about it, but absolutely gorgeous palette. One of my favorite palettes I've tried this year, for sure. All right, and that is it for my palette ranking video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on any of these palettes. Have you tried them? Do you agree with me? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe before you leave. I do upload videos weekly, both beauty and fashion videos, and I would love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.